Toastmasters teaches you how to prepare a speech on a certain subject in a certain amount of time. Our speaker today, I'm sure, has worked very, very hard on crafting just the right speech for us today. No pressure. Peggy Biegler, Mom, can you babysit? Mom, can you babysit Peggy Biegler?
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, the Marine Corps was going to have a 4-day holiday weekend. So my son called and said, Mom, can you babysit? I had to drive to California to do that, but he knows I'm a sucker for his 4 kids, my grandchildren. Oh, by the way, Jason and Lori want to go down the hill with us to have their vacation too. So can you take care of Connor and Mackenzie? Well, I've known Connor since he was a tiny baby, and Mackenzie is only 3 and cute as a button, so how bad can that be? Oh, and Mom, our other friends want to go too, and they have 3 kids, but their babysitter can't come till Saturday. So could they stay just Friday night? Well, Steve, have I met these kids? Do I know them? I mean, I've met thousands of kids over there. It seems like every kid in the neighborhood comes to their house to play, so I've met thousands of kids. Well, no, Mom, you haven't met these kids, but they're really, really good kids. Well, Steve, how about if I meet them before I say yes? So I got there Friday at about noon, and they were going to be ready to leave as soon as I got there. Luckily, the third couple decided they weren't going to go. So I was only stuck with 6 kids to babysit for a 4-day weekend. As usual, when I go to babysit, I take plenty of things for the kids to do. I'm going to keep them busy so they can't get in any trouble, especially with 6 kids. You know how that goes. The first thing we did was divide the 6 kids into 2 Indian tribes. I had 3 here and 3 here. I had different colored fabric for each Indian tribe, and we were going to make headbands with feathers in them so they could play Indians. I handed them their little pieces of fabric, and the first thing I heard was, I don't like that color fabric, I want that one. Well, then you'll have to switch tribes, okay? No, I don't want to be on that tribe, I want to be on this one. So I said, okay, you can have whatever color you want. You can be on any tribe you want. I don't care. So we started choosing our little colored feathers. I had thousands of little feathers flying all over the place, and we were going to glue those on the headbands. I want all the pink ones. Nobody else can have pink. I'm going to have pink on my headband. So within 5 minutes, I had Shayna bossing everybody around. Taylor had hers almost done. Alex, the 2-year-old, was ready to get down and play with his cars. He didn't care anymore. Connor was still trying to decide what color feathers and what order he was going to put his on. Who have I left out? Mackenzie was the one with the pink feathers, and she's the one that also has to do everything on her own. She's 3. Very, very opinionated, very independent. And if her feathers didn't want to go up, it was okay if they went down or sideways or whatever, but that's the way she wanted them. And Catherine was about to cry. By then, Mackenzie had also wet her panties. So we had to go change those. This was a challenge, but we finally got the headbands finished. We didn't get too much glue on the dining room table because I thought ahead and covered that. And we got the headbands put aside so they could dry. We have our 2 Indian tribes. It was time for Alex to take a nap. He's only 2, so he was still taking naps, even though we didn't want to miss out on anything. So I sent the older kids and the younger kids that didn't take naps outside to paint their drums. I had coffee cans that they could make drums out of. I gave them some acrylic paint that would work on the drums, and gave them paintbrushes. You can paint any design you want on the drum. They're out in the grass, so it won't get on anything, right? I've got Shayna and Taylor, who are the older girls. They're 10 and 8. They should be responsible, right? Catherine comes in and says, Grandma, you need to come outside. There's a problem. Catherine's 4. I go outside and there are footprints and handprints and anything else you can think of to paint on the sidewalk that comes up to the house and on the parking apron. That's what it's called, parking apron. Now remember, this is acrylic paint. We're in the middle of the Mojave Desert, and it's hot. I tell them to get the hose and wash that off. That didn't work because the acrylic paint had dried instantly and permanently. So go in under the kitchen sink and find the cleaners, the cleansers. We used every cleanser that existed in the house. Dishwashing, liquids, Mr. Clean. We've got the scrubbing cleanser, the bathroom cleanser. We got paint thinner out of the garage. We got everything that existed in that house, and nothing would cause the paint to move. Nothing at all. That paint was still there last June when the kids were moving out of their house. The housing company told them the only way they could get rid of that was to chip out the concrete and replace it, and Steve was going to have to pay for that. Finally, one of their friends told them how to get rid of it. It was real simple. I don't remember what it was. This was all just the first day. I cooked hundreds of meals for this kid, it seemed like. I never did figure out what white eggs were. I did everything I could to try to make a white egg for Connor. Finally, Lori told me he only eats egg whites. Well, why couldn't he tell me that? All he could tell me was white eggs. I did everything I could to get them to wear themselves out. We lost Connor's blanket that he had to sleep with. We fought over who was sleeping with who, and the only one that got tired out was me. Their parents had promised me that they were going to be home by noon on Monday. So I'm on the cell phone saying, "Where are you?" We're at the Colonel's house in Yucca Valley, which is just 29 miles down the road. And the Colonel's wife was supposed to have lunch ready for them, and that was their stop on the way home. She hadn't even started lunch. So they called me about 5 o'clock that they were just a few miles outside the base. By the time they pulled into the driveway, I had 6 children lined up on the corner curb with suitcases, with a big sign that said, "Free to good home."